mom, life, balance, and we bring you the MLB podcast,
the playbook for women struggling to make balance a priority in their lives. Welcome back to the MLB podcast. It's Coya. I'm alone again. Brittany's not feeling well, so send her well wishes, send her prayers. Hopefully she will be back here next week, or I'll probably have a guest that I'm thinking to host just to come on with me, because I don't know, this is a little awkward for me. I enjoy it. I appreciate the feedback that I get. I'm working on the audio. I'm trying to be louder. I know I'm not a very loud person. I'm more like mellow, soft-spoken. So I'm going to try to project more. I appreciate all the feedback that I get from you guys. And I just also appreciate you guys tapping in, listening week after week. It's the beginning, so it's a little ghetto, but we are working through it. We're pushing through. The devil's busy trying to steal my co-host or whatever, but I'm here. That's the good thing about having two people. When one's out, the other one can show up. So I'm back with another quickie. It will not be a long episode, just like last week's episode was not long. I'm just trying to make sure we're staying consistent, maintaining, our promise that we gave to you all and to ourselves. That's important to me. So this week is going to be a little different. I know last week I went into a whole spiel on using God's gift of time, but this week I actually did a Q&A on my Instagram stories, and I just wanted to hear what you guys, first of all, that's my co-host right there, the lazy one on top of the pillow. If you're watching, you'll see her. She's just laying there. I think she just snored very loudly, so very rude of her. It's my dog, if you're listening. But anyway, so I'm going to do a Q&A. You guys submitted questions, and I'm going to answer them. I figured that would be a lot easier. It's easier for me. And I also want to just make sure I'm giving you all what you want, what you're looking for. Again, please submit questions, comments, feedbacks via DMs, email. I'll take it any kind of way. Whatever's easiest for you, hit me up. So let's get into the very first question. Very first one is, what keeps you motivated as a mom and a wife? I should have thought through my answers before just hopping on here. If you know me, if you've been around for a while, you know that if I'm going to do something, this is just how I am, right? If I'm going to do something, if I'm going to do anything, I put my best foot forward in whatever that is. Like I don't do anything to half-ass it, right? And that for me also includes motherhood. It also includes being a wife. It includes this podcast. And so for me, being motivated as a wife and a mom, it's just, I made the decision to be these things. Like I made the decision to be a mom, first time was kind of a slip up. Second time was a decision though. And I made the decision to be a wife. I would not feel right deep down in my soul if I did not put my best foot forward to make both of those areas successful, right? That's literally how I live my life. Like I wake up every day just trying to figure out whatever it is that I'm doing, whether it's work, working out. If I'm not giving it my best, then what am I doing it for, right? So that's honestly what keeps me motivated. Seeing the growth not in my kids keeps me motivated. Like just seeing how they're growing, like the little people, the little humans that they're growing into, and just the feedback that I get from other people that interact with my kids. Like it just makes me feel really, really good to know that all of the effort that we are putting into our children in our household is paying off. So that really keeps me motivated. Like it's nothing like getting a compliment that says like, oh, Riley is, the epitome of like the it girl, which I'm not saying like it girl, like, oh, she's cool and this, but she's just a well-rounded young lady. And so many people come up to me and tell me that, like they compliment her all the time. Same thing with Deuce. Everyone talks about, we have a family who says he's going to be the governor, because when he enters a space and he enters a room, it doesn't matter if we're at the gym or football field, it doesn't matter. He's going to come in, he's going to greet people, he's going to make his presence known. Like that's just how he is. And just kind of seeing that and hearing that, just seeing how they interact in the world keeps me so motivated to just keep pushing. Like, even though it's ghetto sometimes, it's hard. Just keep pushing. And then as far as being a wife, whew, I'm telling you now, that one's, my dog just fell off the pillow, y'all, in the middle of my conversation. As far as being a wife, same, but for being a wife, it's a little more, it's harder for one, because you're bringing two different personalities into one. And sometimes I am not motivated to do that thing. Sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes I'm not motivated to fall back and be wrong, or fall back and just like let things slide. And so main thing that keeps me motivated right now in our marriage is, one, how we're raising our kids together, because I think we're doing a phenomenal job. Just saying, pat self on the back. But two, again, when the kids are gone, just having that person to just do things with, to live with, you know, just me and him. Like, what does that look like outside of just like our busy schedules? Like, starting to create like a whole new life. Like, that's exciting to me. Like, the shifts and changes, ups and downs of being a wife, you know, and parenting in that is just, it's exciting. So that's what keeps me motivated. That was very long-winded. I hope that I do not take that long to answer all of the questions. I'll do my best. We'll see. Next question is, have you always been organized? No, I have not always been organized. Now, I have always enjoyed planning, right? So I have always enjoyed, and I've said this plenty of times, but if you're new here, you'll know. I have always enjoyed like writing things down. Even in middle school, like the best part of the year to me was getting the agenda. I would get that agenda and I would write down like, oh, my test, when the test dates are, or quiz dates. And then I would work backwards to see like, okay, I need that. If it's this many sections in the quiz, I need to study this many days. I need to break it down. I mean, I would reverse it all the way down to the day that I was at, right? And I would close that little planner and I wouldn't do shit. Like, seriously, that is who I was for the longest. I've always been really good. I'll say I've always been really good at strategy. Like, I can break down an idea into a plan with my eyes closed. That's what I do for my corporate job. It comes so naturally to me. Which is why, you know, a lot of people do come to me when they need, you know, help trying to get an idea out and flushing it out. I'm that girl. But when it came to like executing on that, I was not always that girl. And when it comes to like being organized in the house and just like organizing my life and things, having all like these systems that I talk about, I was also not that girl. I didn't become that girl until I think I was 30. Yes, I was 30. I don't even know how I forgot that, because going into my 30s, I was so depressed and I was so annoyed with myself. Like, I was just like, girl, you come off as like this super mom, super wife, you know, you're good at planning things. You plan out all these things. And not gonna lie, anything I planned for like other people, things that I needed to do with other people, that stuff always came to life. Like, I always did that. But when it came down to my own personal goals, my own personal things that I needed to do for me, you know, going to the gym, reading, like all those things, I would never, ever commit to it. And I was over it. And I was so frustrated with myself going into my 30s because, you know, I don't know, the world makes you feel like you're supposed to be in a certain place, you know, hitting 30. And I had just had dues not too long ago. And I was a stay-at-home mom. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom, but I did have my boutique. And it was just kind of, it was good sometimes. I was half doing it, wasn't really giving it full effort. And I was just frustrated with myself, and I was just sick and tired of not being who I said I was going to be. And so I'll never forget. I laid in the bed, I wrote for days, and this is like months, right before leading up to me turning 30. I was low-key depressed. Like, I was so frustrated with myself, and I just sunk. Y'all, I used to go to American Deli. This is so ghetto. I used to drop my kids off at, where was I dropping them off at? Were they in school? They might have been in school. Yeah, they might have been in school. So I would drop my kids off at daycare or wherever they were going. I think it was a daycare. Riley might have been in school. It was daycare for Deuce. I would go to American Deli and I would get me a 10-piece hot lemon pepper sprinkles with a large peach drink, extra crispy fries, and I would lay in my bed. I would lay in my bed and just eat hot wings. It was so ridiculous. Like I was doing anything that just made me feel good. I was so frustrated with myself. And that really just made it worse, honestly. Then at some point I literally picked up a pen, I started writing, and that was my first time ever journaling. And then I started writing down like who I wanted to be and like why, what were the roadblocks that I thought was blocking me from becoming this woman, and like how I could push through these roadblocks, and, you know, just kind of getting it all out. Mind you, I also was not very close to God in this stage either. That didn't come for another 2 years, maybe. So, you know, that played a major part too. But after that moment, I wrote out my little plan, y'all. I did it again. I was just like, you know what? I mean, if I'm going to be this woman, I got to be the woman. Like, I had no excuse. I literally had no excuse. And so, I just started taking little steps every day of like just saying, okay, well, I want to read. I started back reading. I don't think I had read a book since college, you know, and I was just like, I'm just out here. I'm not learning anything. I started working out. That's when I started really working out again with Brittany. I wasn't into financial stuff yet. I was still struggling there. And again, like I said, I really didn't get into like God and all, and, you know, becoming closer with him until maybe like 2 years, maybe a year and a half later. But I was not organized. I mean, I just wasn't. And then as the years progressed, so that's 30, I'm 37 now, I'm about to be 38. So that's when it started. And then each year I just took another step, like once I figured out little pieces of, oh, okay, the kids are doing this, like this is their routine. I could probably wake up a little earlier, and I just started adding more things. Okay, now I've always never played about like dinner time and bedtime being at a certain time, because I needed my kids in bed so I could have my me time. That's one thing I didn't play about. But as the years progressed, I just always took it a step further. Even right now, I'm like, now it's a little scary. Because now I'm to the point where I'm like, oh, so I can have all this organization in my house too. Like, as long as when everything has like a flow and a way, and it's where it's supposed to go, and it's happening the way it's supposed to happen, I feel so stress free. Like, I really do. So again, another long-winded answer. That was very long too. This episode might be forever. So no, I have not always been organized, but I did start following other people who were organized. I started following, I think you have to really curate what you're consuming on a day-to-day basis. When I was in that time, that was one of the things I did. I unfollowed like any shade room, all of that. When I turned 30, I was like, I don't want to see this. Like, I want to see women who are showing me that this can be done. And so that's what I did. Like, I just found women who I was just like, oh, they're doing a great job at parenting, or they're doing a great job at doing this thing. And and they're a wife, and they're this, and they're that, and they're working out. And, I found those women, and I just started like stalking them. Not really stalking them, but anything that they put out, I watched. Anything, that they any course, any webinar, any live stream, like I was there, and I was just soaking up all the information. And not only was I soaking up all the information, I started to incorporate it in my life, and I literally just began to get better and better as the years went on. Again, very long. At what age did you implement chores with your daughter? Y'all don't want to know. So real life, like for real, I feel like my kids, both of them, just started really doing chores, like to where it's mapped out and they have to do these things maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. And Riley's she'll be 14 next month, so 12, which I'm not gonna lie, that's late. But I was struggling with releasing things for a very long time because I like things done a certain way, and I like my dishes cleaned a certain way, and I like the kitchen cleaned a certain kind of way, and I like laundry done a certain kind of way, and I don't want your laundry left all in my laundry room. Like all those things I was fighting. Now they always had to like clean up their room, clean up their bathrooms every once in a while because we do have a cleaning lady that comes bi-weekly. And so they would have to do like little stuff like that. But when it came to like now, Riley, they still don't have a lot of chores. And it's only because they have very, very busy schedules. They have very busy schedules, and Riley has a very big course load for in school. Like she's in middle school, but she's been taking high school classes already, right? And so we understand that they're busy and they have a lot on their plates too. So Riley literally, she maintains like her room barely, but she does her laundry. I do not do her laundry. I will wash their uniforms because I don't want their uniforms to get damaged. Like I don't want to deal with that headache. So I'll clean her uniforms and Deuce's. I do all of Deuce's laundry. I just feel like he's too busy right now to do his laundry. But I plan like in the summer, like in downtime is when I give them more responsibility. Like last summer, like Riley wasn't washing dishes. Last summer, she started washing dishes. Before that, she was just putting up the dishes in the dishwasher. And she low-key just went back to doing that when the school started. Again, because her schedule was so crazy. You know, what else? Oh, she supposed to do the stuff for the dog, let the dog out, feed the dog, all those things, which she's pretty on top of for the most part. Deuce takes out the trash, but they don't have like a whole lot of chores. I'm not gonna lie, they really don't. Between me and the cleaning lady coming through, I maintain the house. Sue me. I could be better. My husband's always just like, he feels like they could do more again in the off season, but when they're busy, it's impossible. It's just too much. What was your after school homework routine like when the kids were in elementary? Honestly, I think it's the same. So I have always been come home from school, get a snack, let's do homework, mom. So that's kind of always been a routine since they were little. And when they didn't have, my kids pretty much always had homework. Like can't remember a time that they didn't really have homework like that. But when they did, that's what it was. Get a snack. We would sit down. They had like this little round table. Oh, remember the little green table? So cute. And they would both sit there and they would do their homework. And then even when it was just Riley, this is when she was like 2 years old. I've always been like this. Like we would go through cards. She would have to sit at the table, but she would have to spell her name. Like Riley she was walking, talking, everything by 2 years old. It was by 1 actually, but she was talking at 6 months. And then she was spelling her name, everything like 1.5. It was crazy. And I've always kind of like maintained that with her, not so much Deuce. I wish I could have done better with Deuce. But that's been the routine. They come home, they get a snack, and it's the same right now. They get a snack, they do their work, and then now we have a tutor. Well, she's about to come back, but like all last year, they had a tutor that would come twice a week to work with them on anything that they need help with. So we're actually about to bring her back because, again, Riley's taking high school classes and sometimes it's just a little harder, and she's nervous about taking finals because for the high school classes, the finals are 20% of her grade. So she's a little nervous. So we're going to bring the tutor back. I mean, she's a teacher. Well, she used to be a teacher. She'll come over and she'll help them. And then after that, they do their, their training. We go to practice. And usually so this is the thing, while they're doing their homework, so their homework has always been done in the kitchen. And I'm always cooking. Now that's one thing. I've always been cooking while they're doing their homework. So I'm close where we can like talk. And if I need any help, I can come step over and help them. So I just realized that is very helpful and just kind of like doing both things at one time, like cooking dinner and helping them do their homework. So when they're done, we can kind of like go do what we need to do and then come back and dinner's already done. I really talk a lot with my hands. 2 more questions. The next one is, are you bringing the planners back? I get asked that question so much. Yes, I'm bringing digital planners back, but I am not bringing physical planners back. It's just too much for me right now to do the physical planners. And I know y'all. I know everyone's like, I like to write it down. I need to feel the paper. I get it. I was that girl too, until 2 years ago when I got my Remarkable, and now I love having everything in one space. So yes, I'm bringing the digital planners back. I'm actually bringing like a whole suite of digital products to you all soon. I'm so excited. More on that to come, but everything will be digital. I'm sorry, but if you have an iPad or a Remarkable, you should try it out. It's really cool to have everything in one space. I promise. I'm actually gonna do a video. There's gonna be videos. There's gonna be tutorials on all the digital products I release. So from the budget planner, and I won't say the other things, but a digital suite is coming, and it's coming soon. Last question. Are you still enjoying having a job? Yes. I absolutely love my job, and I really think it is because of the work culture. So the job that I work at, everyone is like super cool. The company is good. I make really good money. It's very flexible. If I didn't have the flexibility to show up right now, I'm on lunch, quote unquote, because I do my lunch whenever. But right now I'm on lunch recording this, right? And so no one's bothering me. Nobody will probably bother me all day. So it's like I create my schedule, and I love that. Like I can block time off. Nobody will bother me. As long as you get your work done, you're good. That's the kind of company I work for. And I think that just really, really helps with me honestly still loving having a job. I mean, honestly, I told y'all, I've always been a girl who felt like I needed a job. I never wanted to be only an entrepreneur. My anxiety just can't take that. Like I need structure in my life. I need both. I like both. I like the structure that my corporate job brings. And I like how my corporate job kind of like pushes me to expand because I'm working with such a big company and such big projects. So I like that. But then I also love that I get to work with my clients. And I will say that entrepreneurs, like solopreneurs or, small businesses, they work at a much faster pace than my corporate job. So those working with my clients keeps me on my toes. It keeps me creative. Whereas the corporate job is like a lot slower. They're an established business. They don't care what the new trends are. They don't care about none of that. They're just like slow and steady, which works for me because if you slow over there, I can be fast over here, and it works out. I will say that, so I did downgrade the clients that I've taken this year and last year I didn't really have any clients. But I think I will probably downgrade again on the client side, and it's only because I really, really, really want to pour more into this podcast and her daily guide with the digital products and all the other things that's coming up. So I think, and this is my first time even saying this out loud, so maybe God's putting it on my heart. I think I'm going to scale back on the client side going into 2025. Whew. Did I just... Okay, I was not planning to say that, but okay, we're here. But yeah, I love my job. I love the space that I'm in. I am so grateful for my job. I'm so grateful for my clients. I'm so grateful for you all. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. That wraps up the quickie. That wasn't so quick. I was yapping, as my daughter would say. Jesus. See you next week. Bye.